We're ending the last administration's regulatory war on crypto and Bitcoin, and that includes stopping the lawless Operation Choke Point 2.0. Operation Choke Point went beyond regulation, and I mean far beyond. It was a form of lawfare through government weaponization. Frankly, it was a disgrace. But as of January 20th, 2025, all of that is over. I've also called on Congress to pass landmark legislation creating simple, common sense rules for stablecoins and market structure. With the right legal framework, institutions large and small will be liberated to invest, innovate, and take part in one of the most exciting technological revolutions in modern history.
You got to be excited about the future of cryptocurrency, specifically those blockchains with the utility and functionality to build the future. You heard from the president to start this video. They're stopping Choke Point 2.0 to just stomp out innovation in this country. We are going to see regulations. We've been yabbering about that for almost a decade now. We're going to see regulations, market structure bills, stablecoin bills. It's happening. And not sometime in the distant future. It's happening in 2025. This is going to clear the way for big tech to jump in here and leverage this technology. This is going to allow major financial institutions to build their infrastructure on top of decentralized technology and totally change the world. The revolution has absolutely begun. And you have to peer into the future and ask yourself, what blockchains are going to be the foundation of that future? Because that's where the value is going to come from. That's wildly bigger than simply ETFs or the investing stuff. This is about using crypto technology for its intended purpose, and that's where your long-term and sustained value will come from. We see from Moon Lambo right here, he gets it exactly right. We are living in a totally different world now. You have to recognize that. You have to get ready for that change because it will be rapid. It will be violent. He goes on to say, Trump is way more pro-crypto than I expected. In his first term, he was not. But this is the time. Business, institutions, investors, they're demanding this. You can't stop progress. You will see every country out there eventually capitulate and support this technology or be left behind forever. From Bitcoin.com, XRP is about to go big. I couldn't agree more here. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse expects XRP to be included in the U.S. crypto stockpile and get ETF approval soon. They're not filing all these applications for nothing. They know it's going to get across the finish line. The president himself named XRP alongside Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Cardano. And I'll say this, wasn't alongside, it led the way. It was the first crypto named in his announcement. SEC is backing off, policy is shifting, and investor demand is soaring. Are we about to see XRP's biggest breakout ever? I'll tell you this, it ain't going to be bigger than 2017, where we went from 0.6 of a cent to $3.80. I don't think it's going to be bigger than that, but it's going to be big, and it should go over a long period of time. Now, recognize what's happening here. It's about, the government not being hostile, not attacking, XRP getting included in ETFs, the shifting policy in this country. From there, though, we have to see the builders go out and build the systems of the future. Do we see Ripple have more success with their payment systems? Do we see, Robinhood build exchanges on top of this technology alongside Bitstamp? Do we see applications having success? Keep your eye on that because ultimately that's all that will matter. Are you able to build useful tools with this technology? XRP has all the capability. And I just can't wait to see those systems go live and the real success start to steamroll. That's the last test. We'll see here. YouTubers now get engagement from being bearish. And this is a good sign to counter trade those trends. We see our buddy Rand here with this exit crypto now. In YouTube, sometimes it's best to be bearish and sometimes it's better to be bullish. And we are only up from here on out. And usually if you trade the opposite of what us YouTubers are doing, probably your best bet, if you haven't noticed yet. We see Justin Cardano, founder Charles Hoskinson, to moderate a discussion alongside Donald Trump Jr. and World Liberty Financial on digital liberty, expanding global access to digital assets, DeFi at the DC Blockchain Summit. So, He's in the mix here. I know a lot of people are like, oh, he wasn't at that little meeting of the minds at the White House. It doesn't matter. He's talking to policymakers, and he's doing good work out there. And I look for Cardano to do great things in the coming year here. Bitnomio launches its first XRP futures in the United States after the SEC drops the Ripple case. It's not official. We haven't seen that announcement, but Brad told us it's happening, and I believe him. But, you know, we've started seeing futures trading, and that's usually a big first step in terms of getting, you know, that data from regulated trade on a regulated market, and that will lead to an ETF down the road. Bitnomial, it's physically settled futures, ensures the contracts are delivered in actual XRP upon settlement. How much actual trade do we see in this product? I don't know. But again, it's about getting that historical data of trade on a regulated market. I think that's so important to get us ready for an ETF. We see Bobby here say, did you notice how XRP outperforms Ethereum when the market both pumps and dumps? This is because XRP is now in an uptrend versus Ethereum, a paradigm shift in crypto that few have yet to catch up on. Now, here's what I think here. We haven't even seen XRP pump. And I know we went from 50 cents to, over $3. That's just XRP catching up. So XRP has been suppressed so long. It's like Brad Garlinghouse said, you had this invisible hand just holding our head underwater, and that's gone. They just came out and chopped that hand off. And so you've seen the price go up. That's not growth. I expect Ethereum, when market conditions are correct, to do very well. Make no mistake, but XRP is just kind of getting up to its fair value where it should be. Explosive growth is still on the horizon. And that same idea that, it's not Ethereum is bad. This is just XRP catching up to where it should be. We see BlackRock's head of digital assets talking about Ethereum. Negativity around Ethereum is overdone. And there's a lot to be optimistic about. And whether you have Ethereum or not, we want crypto to do well. That's the number 2 altcoin in the world. It's a major cryptocurrency. Rising tides lifts all boats. We want to see that sucker take off at one point or the other. XRP can run it down. That's fine. That's fine with me. But you should see Ethereum being bullish and probably here pretty soon. And he said, there's no question that blockchain, where they are going to start their tokenization efforts, it's Ethereum. And that's just not a BlackRock thing. That's a natural default answer. ETH is a bet on blockchain adoption and innovation. And again, whether you like the blockchain or not, we want to see that sucker going up because that tells us that we're going to see massive runs in the altcoin space. We see from Mario, the SEC confirms that Bitcoin and proof-of-work mining are not considered securities under U.S. law. Why is this even a question? Whether you like mining or not, that's not a security. Why were they ever looking at that? But that's been clarified now. Now, we had this announcement that there was going to be this integration between Swift and XRP. And a lot of big accounts reported on it. We're seeing right here, Watch Your Guru, who I think started this news story. They said, look, RX was hacked. And this post, which they now deleted, was by some hacker trying to pump XRP. So if you see on or on X a bunch of accounts posting something like that, but you can't find it in the news, it's probably some sort of scam. So always make sure you check on that. That's what I did. The minute I saw that, I looked on, online to see if there was some kind of breaking news. And if that was a thing, if Swift was integrating with XRP and they were announcing it, I guess it could be possibly happening behind the scenes and it just wasn't supposed to roll out yet. But, if you see it there, it's going to be on the big news. You're going to see an announcement from Ripple or Swift or both. It's not going to be Watch Your Guru that's going to have the inside to that one. That would be ground shaking. Not saying it won't ever happen, but that announcement itself appears to be fraudulent. Just in, Bitwise files to add staking to its Ethereum ETF. I'm waiting to see when BlackRock does this, because that's one of the problems. If I put money in a Bitcoin ETF or in a Ethereum ETF, I'm losing out. I'm not getting those staking rewards. It is counterproductive. You're better just to hold Ethereum yourself and stake it and get your staking rewards. That's going to happen, though. And proof-of-stake blockchains, I think, are going to be pretty popular because people are going to be able to invest in that ETF and get quarterly, monthly, dividends paid in more crypto. They're going to love it. You're getting dividends in an asset that's going up in value over time. That's killer, and people are going to dig that in a major way. We see Uniswap Lab CEO saying zero-sum games have an upper bounds. He's talking about meme coin trading. There's only so many buyers when you're launching 1.7 million meme coins per day. Now comes the era of tokens with real world value behind them. And, people love to gamble. That's not going to change. And if they want to waste their money on meme coins, more power to them. At least they're doing it within the blockchain ecosystem. But, it will always pivot back to those main plays that are for real utility and building the future. And that's, should be the mainstay of your portfolios, whether you enjoy a little gambling with meme coins or not. SEC acknowledges the filing for 21 shares spot Polkadot ETF. So all your major cryptocurrencies, they're going to get across the finish line. Polkadot's interesting. I've covered this a little bit. They've redesigned the whole system essentially, moving away from their parachain idea. Not the best time to be doing that kind of thing. But to me, long term, that's an interesting blockchain. And I was scooping some Polkadot up when it was $3.50. And if something was going to jump up there and surprise people, Polkadot still has, I think, the ability to do that over the long term. This run, we'll see. I think it sets new all-time highs, but I don't think it goes where we ultimately want to because they got a lot of work to do with Jam, things like this. But Polkadot's still a player. Don't go to sleep on that blockchain. And it just shows, it'll be one of the first where we see an ETF. And it could be really, really exciting long term. Just in, SEC Chair nominee Paul Atkins will testify before the Senate Banking Committee on March 27th. So it looks like we're moving towards that confirmation. And we may need to get that before we actually get the official announcement from the SEC that the Ripple case has been dropped. I was reading some stuff from Eleanor today. That might be what they're waiting for. I don't know. But we want to get that person in the chair so the SEC can really get to work. And they've been busy too, by the way. They've been doing a lot. It's amazing how much they've done without an SEC chair. But I think they're going to be even busier once he takes his position. Can't wait to see what they do then. Interesting post by Panos. He says, XRP was not created for banks. You hear that all the time from people. XRP, it was created just for the banks. It's not for you. It's not for me. That's hogwash. And he says Ripple and their founders actually hated institutions and middlemen. Now, Ripple, the company that wants to make money, they've decided, working with banks and institutions, that's their way, and that's good. Because guess what? Institutional cash flow, that spends just as good as the regular folks. But, he put this up here to back up his claims. Because that, you'll get a lot of people that go crazy over a statement like that. He has the Ripple website here where they're talking about, this is for regular folks. When this first went up, it was open coin at that time. David Schwartz talking about, hey, we don't really like institutions and stuff like that. We're trying to be a better Bitcoin for the everyday person. And, on this post, I put from employee number 3 or 4, Bob Way, where he said, we pivoted to institutions. And it's true. They were originally going to be for regular people. I think the takeaway here is not that institutions are bad or those use cases are bad. They're massive. You're going to see tons of activity from institutions on blockchain, from institutional DeFi, RWAs. You want to capture that, but you don't want to ignore retail and the everyday person. And the fact that this technology can be used from everyone from countries, nation states, to your lowest of low to have financial freedom and security. And so it's all of it. When they say all of the money, that's what we're talking about. Everything, not just Ripple, not just Swift, but even regular folks. Because again, all of that liquidity, all of that value, it all spends just as good as the next. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.